at least sometime in the past, people had enough sense to realize that that which is God-given on this earth, and I believe God has put all things on earth here for us so that we could live a long, healthy life if we but knew, but that information is kept from us. But our legislatures years ago said all natural ingredients are God-given, no one can patent them. So what does Big Pharma do? They put artificial ones out. The molecular structure is very difficult, very different and very difficult to make. And so they'll spend about 15 years and about up to a couple $1 billion to get it approved. And then they want to squash the competition. There was just a lawsuit filed yesterday by a pharmaceutical company that's selling fish oil. And so fish oil is high in a couple of ingredients. And so what they're saying is they filed a lawsuit against the FDA here, the ones that defend them, but they want these kind of things because it crushes natural medicines, complementary medicines, which is what the FDA likes to call them. I call them complementary, natural, and extremely effective and biologically compatible in almost all cases, where the pharmaceuticals almost always are not, with enormous side effects. Does that make sense to you? I'm kind of rambling here, still getting to my major point. But with it, we're really trying to do things right. Now we're on fire. We had 30% growth last month. In a single month, the company grew by 30% here. How did that happen? Well, it happened because we've caught the perception of an opportunity, and that's what creates momentum. So people are seeing out here now, what do people want most in the world? To live healthy, to live with energy, to live for a long, long time, and to have the resources to do it with it, and the HPL answers them all. And so we thought we'd put out enough that'll last us for about 3 months, and it lasted 5 days. I knew it was going to be big, but we've rolled out some big ones, but now we got the base of big ones there to support all of this kind of thing. Anybody that's got teeth? We got the best toothpaste in the world and the best mouthwash. No one's got hair or skin? Yeah, we got the best in the world, in a world full of products full of harmful ingredients and ineffective ones. I don't give a hang what most of them say. They don't work and they're bad for you. Ours are just the opposite. So we have these fundamental things that you're using and doing, and some of them very dynamic in their own ways. I mean, TSX, really dynamic because it keeps the telomeres rewound. It builds them back. And you give them up every time a stem cell, which is like the chicken that lays the egg. Stem cells make all the cells that your body uses up. Their lifespan is limited, and they have to be replaced. But stem cells are there until you die. Of course, a lot of them die off, too. A lot of them become dormant, and most of them become very inactive. By the time you're 60, you got 20 to 30% of the efficiency or effectiveness in your stem cells remaining. You've lost 70 to 80% of it. And you can see what happens. Look what happens from 60 to 80. Holy cow. It's like somebody opened the trap door and down you go. So with that, the HPL solves all that. And it does it through the body's own natural processes. So I'll talk a little bit about how that works so you can understand in basic, simple terms. But this isn't a medicine. And aging is not a disease, so we have more latitude. The FDA classifies aging as a condition that happens due to two things, decay and degeneration. So what is decay? Well, you see steel rust. That's happening all over your body. It's called oxidation. You take in oxygen. It's used to create energy, isn't it? That's the only purpose of it in your body. And so it goes into the cells and the stem cells. And in comes, it's just like oxygen goes in your car engine. And in comes gasoline in the car engine, spark ignites it. It oxidizes the hydrocarbons, the gasoline, and releases energy. Same thing happens in your cells, all of them, including stem cells. You bring in oxygen, you bring in glucose. That's sugar. That's an energy source, just like gasoline. It gets oxidized right in the mitochondria and releases the energy that we need. That now the mitochondria has to release something. It releases ATP, which releases hydrogen, which is converted to electrical energy. That's the very end of the spectrum. To get it clear up to there, there's a number of steps that are involved, and that's what the age pill is all about, right up to and including the production of ATP, and then the metamorphosis of it. ATP is an energy molecule. The metamorphosis of it into hydrogen, which came originally from the sun, through plants, to animals, through different chemical forms, to where it gets up and makes ATP. So no life on Earth could exist without the sun. We know that. It's solar energy that comes down, solar radiation. But the big energy component is the most powerful molecule in the universe, and that's hydrogen, just like the hydrogen bomb. It's the most powerful bomb. Has so much energy. It's also the smallest atom and smallest molecule in the world, because of size, so it can go anywhere. So you get all through that of storing that solar energy by plants, transferred to animals, and then in a chemical form. A plant makes solar radiation and ties it into a chemical energy source. So that solar energy is converted to chemical energy, and then it goes through a process through plants, through animals, into humans, from both sources, and then we change it a number of ways in chemical energy. But when it comes down to creating the ultimate thing that runs you, electrical energy, the conversion happens. The last one is ATP. And then from ATP, it goes on, and in the sequence of reaching electron, it releases the hydrogen. Hydrogen has this enormous energy. It's the energy that it turns on the electricity of the power plant. It just generates large amounts of electrical energy if you have large amounts of it being produced. That makes sense, doesn't it? It's like your gas pedal. If you press it down just a little ways, you can go 20 miles an hour through the school zone. You press it down more, you get more gas in, you go faster. It's the same thing within your regular cells and also your stem cells. So the age pill works on both. And the reason that you're feeling so much energy so quickly is suddenly the pedal goes to the metal, and you start producing. Your body can produce. You have to have tests to say all these things are done. But here's the theory of it, the hypothesis, the things that have been shown in animal tests, now being tested in humans. But really, the reality is to it, if you increase the amount of ATP you can produce, you can create more hydrogen, you can create more electrical energy. So when you take it, that conversion doesn't take too long. Within 20-30 minutes, it's gone through your system, and it's in about every cell in your body, and that conversion starts picking up. Picks up through all the cells, so you start getting a lot more energy and things like that. That's why we recommend to you to keep it in your system all the time. The best way to do it is to administer it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. I can't remember noon. A lot of times I get so busy, so I take mine morning and night. But I don't take it last thing at night because I want it to not to give me such a big burst when I'm going to bed. But I'll tell you what, if you keep it in your system, about 12 hours is pretty well going out. So take it morning and night, you're going to pick that up. But there's a point where it's ending and where it's beginning. That is lower. So if you want the most optimal, just take it 3 times a day. If you're like me, take it twice a day. But don't take it too late. I mean, take it by about 8 or 9. Depends on what time you go to bed. A couple hours before you go to bed. With it, and I take it first thing in the morning. It's by my bedside. Before I get out of bed, I take my age pill. I also take my 4 Restore. And man, I tell you what, when I get out of bed, I lay there for 10 or 15 minutes to say my prayers, and I am ready to go, and my energy never quits all day long. It goes through it, and you know that, too. It's happening to all you. That's why I had over 300 people on the call last night. From a call, it used to have 20 or 30. Within 6 weeks, it's over 300 with it, and it's just a downline. And that's happening all over right now, and Italian distributors asking us, fill our products, fill our warehouses. We own them. We'll pay for it. Just get them to us because this thing is growing so fast, and we've gone back order 3 times. So the first one should have lasted 3 months. First production lasted 5 days. Second one we think would last 3 months. It lasted about 10 days. Now this one that we're bringing out right now, we think if we were on our original planning, it'd last over a year, but we think it's going to last about 2 weeks. It'll be produced in the next day or 2. But these ingredients aren't just the kind that you go down to the store or to the supplier and say, hey, I want some of this. Some of them are. Some of them aren't. Some of them are very exotic, extremely expensive. They're not only made by one place that we can find that really we can get to make it for us. There's one here in the United States, but it is so overpriced it'd be a $300 product if you bought it from them. And they sell some to a few companies that are doing a little internet selling and that, but they use such a pathetic amount of it. I mean, it works, the amount they do. They require them to use at least 100 milligrams if you buy from them by contract, because that's the first blip on the radar. But you need 10 times more than that, but it's so expensive nobody can use it except Sisel. I've gone, I know where to get, I have a lot of experience. We manufacture, that's a big advantage. So I've been able to go and to get a manufacturer with great expertise that we have lots of confidence in and done some other things for us. And we have that in some areas, like particularly TSX is one with an expensive ingredient. Some of these things are, $80,000 to over $100,000 for a kilo. Some of them $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a kilo. That's expensive, but the thing about it, it takes a certain amount to do it. So if we buy it through a broker who's brought it through somebody else or got it made, price is high, but here's there's only one because it's so terribly expensive to make a couple of these ingredients, two of them in particular, actually three, that are in it. So we bypass all that. We have massive buying power because our facility is so big. Well, I have 30 years of experience doing it, so I can go right to the heart, and then I negotiate the heck out of it. I say, I want you to cut down. Here's what I tell them, sharpen your pencil. Because if I give it to you rather than get someone else to make it for me, the volume will be huge. So I want you to make less, but you'll make a lot more product and make up the difference, and that's the way it works. That's just part of business. I know how to do business, and that's the thing we're going to come to on this call here today about that, what we're doing to improve business and how to do our business right. Well, anyway, now we have it. Growth is exploding. This week, I heard a lady saying, well, what happened? Somebody's back ordered. Well, yeah, back orders do happen. You're right. We have too many products. We got so many products. We put such a broad array out that they're not justified keeping a lot of them. And inventories are going down, and we're going to discontinue quite a number of products. Most of them are going to be, not all, but almost all of the color cosmetic line. Why? Because we threw away $2 million worth of it, and because it just expired. It's just not selling well. If it's only safe, non-toxic line in the entire world, but most distributors aren't using it. And we advertise it, and we tell them, but they don't do it. So what can we do? It cost me $2 million in products that I've had to dispose of because we had to make minimum runs, which are huge, and distributors are going in and they're buying Estee Lauder and Clinique and Lancome and stuff like that. Things loaded with potentially harmful ingredients, but they like the color, they like the smell. Okay, that's their choice. This America and the free world and other places, you have the right to know, choose, and use. Most people don't care about knowing; they just choose and use what they like. For those of you that do, there's not enough of us buying here at this time. Maybe if the volume of the company, if we get up to $1 billion, lots of things can be added back in that we're probably going to have to remove right now because things have to be done on economy of scale. So, but if you got, like I heard this lady say, well, what do? You know, if you haven't, somebody called and they said they haven't got their order in 2 weeks. Well, I seriously doubt that. I don't doubt her. I don't doubt that's what it said, but very oftentimes, as you know, people over-exaggerate. Now, maybe it's the H pill. If it is, hallelujah. It's selling. We can't keep it on the shelves. But now we're building a gigantic batch, I think tomorrow, and putting it out, and it'll last about 2 weeks, or we would have lasted over a year. But, you know, right behind it, here it comes even bigger, and I've got an escalating thing to go because the sales of it is just off the charts. And so we have to run with it. Back orders are great right at first because the excitement. You can't calculate for a meteorite coming in from out of nowhere that no one's seen until it's about to hit. And it's that kind of thing too. This is a giant meteorite in the MLM world, in the history of human health. We're going to devastate lots of competitors. We're going to do serious damage because of the preventative health, the age regeneration that it gives to the pharmaceutical industry and to the low functioning or no functioning dietary supplements that most products I would consider are. Isn't that a statement? But it's so true. You went through it here. For those of you that kind of remember, it's only a year or so ago, the FDA and the FTC went in, and they went into GNC, Walmart, Walgreens, all these big stores, and they analyzed dietary supplements. I've got a copy of the report. I published it on Facebook and published it around. And here's what they said. Of all the products tested, not a single one out of the hundreds and hundreds of products from hundreds of companies that they tested had enough of the ingredient they were claiming that it was the formulation was based around or on or part of to amount to be what they considered a therapeutic dose. And in many of them, the active that they said was there was in undetectable amounts. That means it could be detected, but it's less than 1 part per million. That's what you're buying, folks. You think these MLMs are any different? I'll tell you what, they are not. So there's actually a couple companies that make a pretty good product that we make for them. But still not to the standard I had, but there's a few that make some good products. Nobody makes anything like what we do. And this age pill is just smashing. So now let's take a look at where we're at right now in the world. Zango, come and gone. Let's just do a recap of Visalis, come and gone. Monavi, come and virtually gone. The one that I thought was going to be so great, Viesco, it comes out collapsing back, with it Noni almost gone. All of these things they go on and on and on. Gone. Here they are, Jeunesse, so big, collapsing back, lawsuit up the gazookie now with them. So where's the excitement in the industry? Some things get a blip and then they fall back. Why? Because all the competition's got it quickly. They see something. People aren't going to be able to get the sage pill and compete like what we have. And look how we're competing. We have people, and I've never seen this phenomenon this way in any company, in any industry that has ever been in network marketing or anywhere else in nutritional science. You take this product and it works. And it works so fast and it's so self-evident that it's undeniable. That is the holy grail of a product that any MLM would want, or any company I would think want. But economics and how highly advanced the technology is, and how complex the stem cell is beyond just stimulating energy. If you're trying to stimulate your old car that's not firing right on all the cylinders and chugging and full of sludge and haven't changed your oil and things breaking down and sparks not and air and oxygen and all the things not coordinating, you can put the gas all the way down and boop, 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 there away you go. But that's the way stem cells are. Aging is decay and degeneration. That's it. If we can stop the decay, then it's not deteriorating, right? If we can make more new cells, then it loses naturally, which is what the body's doing. It's replacing cells that wear out. And you have to, or your body wouldn't be any good if you didn't have stem cells replacing those that are wearing out. So if we can end decay and replace more cells than we're losing, we can reverse the whole process. If aging is decay and degeneration, we end decay and we increase regeneration, and we support the body to repair itself back to where it should be if it has those natural systems within it, which the stem cells do and are doing, and that's the way we provide the ingredients. Then it's going to repair itself, and now that engine will be overhauled. Now it'll be cleaned up, and all the debris and the garbage, well, I can't say all, but because you have to test to say that, but virtually all, we think, will be removed. Certainly studies on all the complex components. We don't have single ingredients doing one thing. We have a complement of them attacking the situation. The plaque that builds up in the cell, that gooey stuff that DW was talking about. Yeah, we go right after that, but it takes 3 different types of products in there, ingredients to get that. Lipofuscin, that's cellular sludge. Just like building a house, when it's done, there's garbage all over, they got to haul off. And that's with your cell. When it produces something, there's a lot of leftover from the metabolic processes. Got to get rid of it, but not all of it gets out. And so it accumulates over a lifetime, and it starts filling up, discoloring, distorting, holding toxic heavy metals. You want that in there? How do you think the cell's running? We have a system to assist the natural enzyme systems that remove it, only it puts it in high gear because of the super nutrients that actually are the fuel as you put the pedal to the metal with that system so that it can remove lipofuscin, cellular sludge, cellular garbage. It puts the pedal to the metal as it takes the plaque and the tartar, like off your teeth, the glycation in proteins, in DNA, and all of that out of the cells. And now it's all cleared up. So we've cleared the decks for action. Yeah, you heard that from battle. They do that with ships. Clear the decks for action. Get everything off so you can go into battle. Okay, now we go into battle. And we come in with an array of super powerful, extremely effective super nutrients to support what the cell is doing. That ultimately it produces new things. It produces hormones. It produces proteins. It produces bone. It produces stem cells. All of that. But it hasn't been running well. It's been wearing out. And if you're sitting there 60, you got 20 to 30% of your system working that used to at that level of efficiency. And what we're doing is taking in here, and we believe that it will happen. This is our hypothesis, and it's proved through all animal models that we can take your biology, all the biological indicators. We can't take it. Your body can take it if you have the right nutrients back to where the bioindicators are operating like you were in your 20s again. What will that do for you? Everything. Grow younger, big energy. Look at the people sending people. Look at my gray hair. I've had gray hair for 10 or 20 years, and now I got all these dark hairs coming in. Look at all the hair underneath it. I mean, I looked at Andrea McKinney, and she said, and she'd been dyeing her hair. She said, I don't think I'm going to dye it anymore. It's all coming in red. She had red hair. It's all coming in red. All of it. So some others too. I've been dyeing my hair for years. Now look at all this new dark hair that's growing in. And Julia Sylvia Hill, she sends it in of her husband. She's been coloring her hair all the time. She says, I won't buy coloring for him. Look at him. Look at this. It's very gray, and now it's very dark. And we're only talking about 6 weeks. And those are indicators. Producing hair color. Well, why is it producing hair color? Because the mechanism is there to do it, but it's decayed and degenerated, and we end the decay and we increase the nutrients for regeneration, and there's an indicator coming real quick, and people see it with their thinking. People say, I'm thinking so much sharper. They see it, I've got so much more energy. Look at my skin changing. I didn't even know my skin was changing. I sort of knew it, but I'm a guy, so I'm not too much into nurturing, and I can only multitask, so I have my severe limitations. But here Jackie Christensen said, my gad, Tom, your skin is so much younger. And then she posted without my okay, and I'm thrilled to death she did it, a before and after. Here you were, Tom, a few years ago. Look at you now. I looked in the mirror. Holy cow, I'm pretty happy. My skin is, I don't know. It's like it was when it was 20 or 30 years, I think. I would say that. But see, all those personal things start happening to all of you. And that's what's happening right now in the Sisel Nation. And it is exploding into growth. But in this MLM world, there is a big vacuum. And that was one of the points I was getting to. That vacuum is there isn't a highly, a dynamically, rapidly growing, highly exciting company. They've come and gone. The ones that were blips that got up fairly good, now they're being so copied that they're not doing it. Nobody's going to be able to copy this thing. If they do, it's going to be, I'll bet, close to 5 or 10 years. And then there'll be poor duplications of this because of the expense in it. Right now, we've got it at a very competitive price. The price is easy to buy. The dynamics are spectacular beyond comparison. It does what every single person on planet Earth that's over 30 and maybe over 25 wants, and that is to grow young or stay young and to regenerate their health and have tremendous amounts of energy. And look at some of the things that are happening to the human body, things like cancer. And that's a dangerous thing. This doesn't cure cancer. But, you know, cancer used to be a rare disease. They tested mummies. The University of Manchester went out, from England, went out and they examined 10,000 mummies from different cultures all around the world. They found one case of cancer. Their statement is cancer is a man-made disease. Used to be extremely rare. Now it's extremely common. So what's happened? It's our environment. It's lack of nutrition. It's all the toxins in it and all the other harmful things that are there. But if we can end the decay, if we can remove the toxins, or if we can neutralize the toxins, or we can block them, and then if we can feed the cells so they get repaired, regenerated through their own mechanisms, not by like a medicine would do it and create a structure function change. We're not doing that. We're feeding the structures, we're feeding the functions, and the results are youth regeneration, energy, brain, mentality, hearing, eyes, seeing, skin, hair, bones, heart, liver, lungs, organs, everything. From the hair on the top of your head to the nails on the tip of your toes. Everything in between. Is this not the dream product of all time? And you have no competition? The results are spectacular. And the price is really reasonable. The results are so quick, you don't have to perceive they're happening. They're undeniable that they're happening. I had someone the other day say, well, Tom, what if you take this product for a while and it doesn't work? I said, that's a very interesting question because I think it's utterly impossible, in my opinion, for it not to. How's that for a statement? But it's true. I believe it. So here we have it, and it's blowing the doors right off it. Man, we make a production, and we put it out, and it about sucks the innards of the building as it goes out. So we're gearing up. Other companies could not do this. I've seen some of them with some of these products, and they really raise, and then they go out for a couple of months offline. No, I know where this company is going. I know what it takes to get it there, and the driving force in it right now. Everything else will come along with it, but the driving force is the A.G.E pill, and you need to keep your mind to that. Now we're going to back it up with the double whammo. We have some products like the Triangle of Life, Eternity Spectrum Max, Fucoidin, and you can throw TSX into it. This is for health. You certainly could throw transfusion into it, but they're all A products. But the A.G.E pill is an A++. That's how I rate it. There's never been anything like it ever before in the history of the world. Maybe the ancients found something similar to it. It started my research in '88. This led me to where I am today with the evolution, but science didn't know. And as they learned, I learned. And as they developed and researched, I did what they had found. And now here we are sitting there on top of the mountain, firing off, launching, and there's no one else that is even there, even hardly approaching it. With what we're doing, this isn't just like it's better. This is spectacular, revolutionary, space-age technology. Even NASA is looking at it. And they said just one ingredient in it. And I got two better than that it's on the label, but you don't know quite what it does. I'll reveal it later. I just don't want the competition to know it, and they'd be mortified at the power in it. But just one ingredient, NASA says, we can send a person to the moon or out in space. If they're out there 5 or 6 months, they come back and they're 5 or 6 years older, and 100% of them will get cancer in their lifetime. That's what they say, NASA. So they saw this ingredient developed by Dr. Sinclair and some others, but out of Harvard Medical School, the most prestigious research center in the world. And they sent it down to them, and they said, look, the regeneration rate this can do because it creates so much energy. They looked at it. They saw the animal test. Now it's being tested there. It's a few months into a 6-month study. They're going to find out, and they said, you know, we can send a person to Mars now. It was impossible because if we send a person to space, they came back 5 years older and they'd all get cancer, which has to be treated. But if we send them to Mars, that's a 5 or 6 year mission, and nobody comes back. Solar radiation will have killed them all off before they can even get back. They will have grown so old they couldn't get back to die. Now with this one, it regenerates faster than it can be degenerated. It supports the systems to repair themselves so quickly that this intense bombardment from solar radiation that comes through spaceships, through space shoots, through your body and out the other side is just pepper spraying you with all kinds of holes, and your body has the ability to regenerate it. This is the premise that they're working on. And so here they're getting ready to do it into the space industry where they can launch to Mars. Ye gods, folks, we've launched right now here on planet Earth with something far beyond that, far more spectacular. And that's what we have. Now, pretty exciting, don't you think? And all the rest of the products go with it. All of them. So you should be using it. But now we're going to clear the deck for action. We got a lot of products that we're going to discontinue. Don't want to, but they're not selling enough. And I had a few examples here, you know, to tell you today, just so you had an idea. I've had people call in and they say, well, you know, we need to keep Sencha. A lot of Amish want that. So I looked at it. And here's the statistics I'm going to tell you to start with. To do a run of anything, 5,000 bottles or packages, boxes, whatever it is the minimal run you can make. And it's expensive to do 5,000. When you do 10,000, boy, the costs go way down. When you do 20 or 50,000, the costs really go down. 5,000, and some things, we had a big company come in and want us to do a liquid for them. They said, we'd like 5,000 bottles. And we said, geez, that hardly wets the pipelines of the vats and getting it there and filling it. The loss is so tremendous, and the cost is so much, and the cleanup is the same on the equipment, which takes about half a day after you're done. So if we spend a half a day on 5,000 bottles or we spend half a day on 50,000 bottles, look at the difference in the economy. Now, I'm trying to tell you that so that, because I know a lot of these things come around, and the distributors are going to say some things to you. And so you need to know the logic and the rationale and the reason behind it. So we looked at Sencha. So we figured this. We sat down and looked at it, and we thought, I threw away $2 million worth of color cosmetics because they were so expired. And how can we sell color cosmetics? It's really easy. We can triple or quadruple the price. But then that gets away from our mission. The idea is safe, effective, powerful products at reasonable prices. But if the distributor force, with the tens of thousands of distributors, can't buy 500 in a month, and we have to make 5,000 minimum, but in runs like color cosmetics, you got to do 25,000, 50,000. It's just not in the cards to keep it. It costs huge amounts of money, takes tremendous amounts of storing, inventorying, monitor, resourcing, and quite frankly, it's not worth it. And we need to put our direction, our money, our assets, our resources where the growth is going. I think that makes sense to all of you. So here we sit with Sencha. We sold 430 worldwide last month. 500 is the cutoff point. But you know what? And some people say, oh, okay, and the Amish are the biggest users. You think Japan would be, but it's not. And yet our biggest force is in Japan. So some of it's marketing, but we're on the borderline. So I've decided we're going to keep Sencha. And I've actually found a few things to make it even more, but I'm not going to promote it heavily. I'm going to let it run because I don't want to promote it heavily because the Age pill is absolutely magnificent. This is like a bottle rocket compared to a meteorite or a space shuttle. That's the difference between great Sencha and super fantastic, fabulous, spectacular, ultra performing age pill, the age pill. I'm overemphasizing my point, but that's the way it is. Okay, so some people want to keep shave gel. Tubes on that kind of thing. If you run, they're tubed. 5,000 is an ordeal. We're selling 200 a month. Okay? So if you sell 200 a month and you make one batch, it's got to last 4 years, and we're going to throw away 75% of it. So do you want to quadruple your prices for shave gel so we can afford to keep it because we're going to throw 75% of it away? Of course you don't. But I'm also going to roll the dice on this one for you because lots of you are going to have more hair to shave. And we really need to orient. What's the problem here? The company puts it out. This shave gel is non-toxic, makes razor blades last longer, and helps the body to inhibit hair growth. Not another product in the world does that. And yet we're selling 200 bottles a month out of tens of thousands of distributors. Absurd. But I'm not going to put a big emphasis into do it. But we're enough there, and I think as we grow with this thing, because we're not into rapid growth, we're moving into violent, furious, fast and furious growth with the age pill. And within 2 or 3 months, I think the whole, and I don't know, people were saying, I wish it wasn't Christmas coming up because I can't take the time for Christmas this year. I saw that happen once before, or twice before when that was happening. But anyway, so we're going to keep hair gel. We sell 220 a month. You know what? And that's hard to make. And it's just, I don't know, and hair gel things are changing, so we're going to discontinue it. But many of these things that we're discontinuing, we just don't shut off. We'll have them in back office till they're sold and used up. Those are some examples. Some people, one woman wrote me in the other day, you're going to discontinue essential oils. And they're so vital for my family, I'm using them. Yeah, we sold 70 last month worldwide. Now you look how big companies like Young Living and doTERRA are with essential oils. I don't put the value in essential oils that they did. With my previous company, we were running right neck and neck with them because it was there was momentum there. Essential oils have effectiveness, but they are so overhyped, especially by doTERRA, in my opinion. What they're saying is it's more than a stretch, in my opinion. Some of it is just absolute, I don't know, hyper puffery, I guess is the best word. I don't want to say what I really think it is because of another company, but we sold 70. We need to sell 500. So in a year, what will we sell? In an entire year, we would sell maybe 800 bottles of it. We need to be selling 500 a month. If we make 5,000, look what we've got. We've got a 6 or 7 year supply. We can't keep essential oils. For 70 users a month on average, out of tens of thousands, can't keep them. So some things are going to go. Everything we have is going to be here in stock. So if you really believe in it, buy up on it. And we're going to be giving you some very good buys on some of this to do too. We're specialing some of it out. But the one thing that does happen, and I want to tell you this so you can understand it, is this is a business. We have to pay you high commissions. We have to give you the best products. We have to keep you in stock, in inventory with them. We can pretty well do that, but we can't do it with 300 products, of which you're selling 50, 70, 100, 200 a month. Can't do it. So we got to go. They got to go. It's just plain simple good business. We'll end up probably sitting out here with about 60, 70 products total. Be about 24, 25 that'll be real mainline ones, and they're the one we're going to put the emphasis on. And we think many of the other products, as people get into them, will be using them anyway with what we do. And then as this gigantic growth that is happening right now, and I don't mean rapid growth, gigantic growth that is happening right now gets very big, we'll start rethinking some of these things again. And we will start adding them in if it's economically feasible to do it. But I put so much out, and then from out of nowhere, this great recession came in and really damaged sales for almost all MLM, especially international, because the Obama administration printed money. And when you print money, then the value of the dollar goes way down, and they have to spend more foreign dollars to get the products. And many U.S. products, I'd really hurt our trade bad. Not with us, but with other MLMs and others too, in all kinds of industry, because everything overseas become so much more expensive to buy because of the dollar had gotten so weak. Anyway, that's a little. Just I'm trying to give a few thoughts in the economy of what we're doing. So I've gone on for just about an hour. So let me just recap what we're doing. We're streamlining the product line. We're getting rid of the ones that are uneconomical enough to keep. Some of them that are borderline or that we have hope for, we're going to keep. Now, the other things that we are going to do is we're improving significantly the compensation plan. Some of you leaders have seen it. We put it out to leaders in all countries all over the world. We have not found one yet that wasn't just ecstatic about what was being done. It's really, we've just rearranged the money so they pay out even more, qualifications even easier, advancements even better, and you're going to make more money just by moving it around this way where it's at. And if it's, there always can be a few people say, oh, my check went down. And there's going to be a lot of people, oh, my check really went up, see? But overall, you're not going to have any drastic changes for anyone. And as people's checks go up, especially the distributors that are newer, growing, middle-class distributors, their checks go up, and you have a spectacular product like the A.G.E product just driving it like crazy. It's a wild, runaway wildfire, if you will. Then their checks are going to go up. The people above them, their checks are going to go up. They're going to get more people involved in the company. And overall, it's a win-win all the way through. So what we're doing, you're going to like it because it's going to be simpler. It's going to pay out more. It's going to be easier to qualify. And that'll come in October 1st, and we've put it out in the field. We've tested it. We put a huge amount of money into programming on this thing. This thing is really a hot program. And Fast Start, boy, you're going to have an incentive here on Fast Start where you can make money like it's heart-stopping how much money you can make on Fast Start with this. And guess what's happened with the A.G.E bill? It's fast starting like crazy. So if you really want to put your time and efforts to it, there it is. The other thing we're doing, you're seeing the metamorphosis come in right now, and it will continue to get very good, much better, and it's already really taking off, and that is in the improvement of our website. And our back office, which is done, being field tested, is spectacular. It's like you have got everything at your fingertips to where you can fly the space shuttle. To build your business, this back office is going to be easy, simple, dynamic. The tools are there to do that. So we've gone through the back office. We're building a spectacular, modern, up-to-date website. Then the other thing we've done, we've taken a look at the packaging. And the packaging is nice-looking packaging. I think most of you would agree with the things we're doing. But we've decided we got to move right to the head of the forefront of packaging. So we've designed most everything for packaging and Outlook. And for the people that have seen it, and there have been a lot of distributors, they're just wild with excitement on how fabulous those fantastic products are now packaged in this new coming out. Now we'll sell the old up until it's gone. Then it'll be replaced with this new package. You'll see all of that coming out October with it. So look what we've got here. We got a company now in the industry where there's a big vacuum that is on fire. We are the big one. Within a year, it will be gigantic in a year. But the earth is starting to rumble, and it will be shaking in the MLM world and in other places too because of what we have built here, fired by the super nuke of them all, of all products ever created, the A.G.E pill. So, do we run back order? You bet. You should say, hallelujah, look what's happening. They can't even plan to keep with it. The sales are just going off the charts. Okay, so it's all hands on deck. The deck's been cleared for action. We are building to meet the demand that's there, and we're going to be overbuilding. And we have the facility to do it with. You've got everything. Greatest products people have ever seen. The greatest product ever in the history of the world of human health or multi-level marketing. You have the new look. We have the new modern look where the MLM world is decaying in look and generation and website and compensation plans and all that. Here we've moved into the next dimension. We are really there to get it done. We're streamlining our products so you can be more efficient, so you can make more money, so we can handle it better for you. All of this is being done for you. I've made so much money in my life. When I sold my previous company, they said, you can do whatever you want to do. I said, that's what I'm going to do. That's why I'm not giving you a non-compete. And it cost me hundreds of millions of dollars not to give a non-compete. But I figured I told them my company's for sale, I'm not for sale. Because I have a mission, and DW is right at the top. I believe I have, and I don't want to impose my views on other people. But I believe in God, and I believe God has purposes for us, and we all have different talents. I believe I have my purpose on earth is to help other people and to do everything within my power to make their lives better. I am dedicated to that.